On May 1st, in an earnings call, when Apple chief Tim Cook was asked about plans for making in India, he responded by saying that we do expect the majority of iPhones sold in the US will have India as their country of origin. But even without Tim's confirmation, Apple's India blitz was already visible on the ground with increased Apple production. Here are the numbers. In FY25, iPhone production in India soared to $22 billion. Now, this is up 60% on a year-on-year basis. Similarly, iPhone exports clocked a 75% YOY growth, coming in at $17.5 billion for FY25. Now, outside of the national numbers, the iPhone push was also visible at the retail level. In the January to March quarter of 2025, Apple clocked shipments of an unprecedented 3 million iPhones. Now, this translates to a YOY growth of 23%, which seems even more remarkable when the overall smartphone shipments for the quarter was down by 6%. But then came Donald Trump's comments, and suddenly all bets appear to be off. On May 15th, Donald Trump issued a statement saying, "I don't want you building in India. They can take care of themselves." He essentially told Tim Cook that he was free to make in India for India, but not too happy about iPhones being made in India for the US market. And on May 23rd, Donald Trump doubled down, now threatening a 25% tariff on phones made outside of the United States. Now, while Trump has been muddying waters, the messaging in India has been that Apple is not going anywhere. Now, this confidence may be stemming from some interesting numbers. For an iPhone retailing at $1,000, Apple takes home about $450 on account of software, design and branding. Now, chips are made mostly in Taiwan, so the island country takes home about $150. iPhone screens and memory chips come from South Korea for about $90. Japan takes home about $85 for providing camera systems. Meanwhile, component suppliers like Qualcomm and Broadcom account for about $80. Meanwhile, parts from Germany, Vietnam and Malaysia make up for $45. And that's what gets us to India. For the manufacturing and assembly done here through Foxconn and Tata, India gets only about $30. And even most of this 30 is given back to Apple in the form of PLI benefits. So essentially, India is a cheap destination to make iPhones. A $1,000 iPhone will mean that India gets only about $30, making up for just about 3% of the retail price. But Donald Trump wants Tim Cook to make America great again by manufacturing iPhones in the US. But is it that easy? Now, a large part of India's competitive edge is enabled by low cost of labor. On an average, the workers in India get about $230 per month. Now, let's change the scenario. Imagine an iPhone facility, an iPhone factory coming up in California. Now, the cost of labor, even with minimum wages, could be around $2,900 per month. That would be 13x the labor cost in India. Now, this spike in labor cost would mean that a $1,000 iPhone is being made in India for $30, while the same in the US could be as high as $390. And this shift will cost Apple heavily. Currently, it clocks a profit of about $450 for every $1,000 iPhone. But with the labor cost as high as $390 per iPhone, the profit margins could drop from $450 to just about $60. Now, this is leading some analysts to argue that even with a 25% tariff, it would make sense for Tim Cook to continue making in India instead of the United States.
Hey, thank you for watching this on CNBC TV18. Hope you liked it. For more such interesting news and updates, follow CNBC TV18 on all the social media platforms.